Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realness with three S's. I'm your host here, Francis. Here, new to the channel is Victoria. How are you doing, Victoria? Who are you?
I'm great.
What's up?
I'm good. I'm good. So happy to be here. So excited to talk about oh, this season, the show. Oh gosh.
This show, what is this show? It is Love Island UK. We're going to talk about episode 23 and 24. We're doing a pretty late night little recap here. So hopefully we got some people in the chat that might ask us some questions, but we are just going to recap this episode. Now, Victoria, you're going to tell me and everybody else, what is your involvement with Love Island? Are you a super fan? What have you watched? Tell me it all.
Honestly, I became a super fan during COVID. I think that was like the first time that I'd really got a chance to be home to actually watch it, to really kind of Hulu had a bunch of the different episodes on, and so that really sucked me in. As a matter of fact, the first season that I actually watched was, I guess, the winter season with
Oh,
Callum and Shayna. So when I heard, or Shauna, when I heard that they were going to be on, or at least that Callum and Molly and the twins were going to be on this season, I was like, okay, let me tune in. But since our girl Kaz, I'm kind of like,
well, it's kind of
uh,
like I'm between a rock and a hard place with Kaz going home because,
fair.
they don't really do our girls, our Black women that kindly, will say, in the UK. Most of the men's type is blonde. I didn't know like you'd think it would be personality traits that they're going to be
Yes.
good to their family, they're going to be kind, they're going to be generous. No, they got to be blonde to be these guys' type.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, at this point, I mean, not to jump ahead, but I feel like if blondes are your thing, this island has turned into Blonde Island. So yeah.
Yeah, blonde ambition for sure. And it's just kind of frustrating because I want to see Kaz do well. I want to see her meet someone, and she didn't even have a chance. And
Yeah.
if she were to maybe rekindle with Tyler, her ex-boyfriend, they dumped him from the island. And so they kept Anton and they dumped Tyler. What?
Here here's my thing. As I'm back and forth to London. I have to say, where does Tyler belong? In the bin. In the bin. Go ahead and throw him away.
Oh
He
my,
can go.
there's actually a British YouTuber, Nicole Davies, that always puts
Are you
everything.
serious?
Like, she's like, do you know where you going? He's going in the bin. Like, she puts everybody in the bin. So that's exactly what she
Oh
said.
my God.
And the other girl, Sarah Destiny, she tears everybody's singlet. She's like, I'm tearing his singlet. Like,
Yes.
so
It's
yes,
just,
there have been a lot of these people this season, especially
yeah.
Georgia. Steal your man is what they also call
Oh,
her.
oh gosh.
I'm
Yeah.
sure
Don't even
we'll
get
have
me started.
more to say about Georgia Steele. Have you
More than
seen
enough.
her original season or no?
Um, I I think seen like little clips of it, but I mostly was introduced to her on
Games.
Love Island also. Yeah, all the games. Which okay, we'll get to that when we talk about her and Toby, but you would swear that they were like that they just got back from war. You would have thought that they like served overseas, that they'd like battled it out, that they've been like living together in a shelter somewhere. Like the way that she talks about this history, I've got history with this man that I've known
Deep,
for 5 months.
history. This deep history that we have. You're just like, it's been 3 weeks that you were at like in Love Island Games.
Thank you. And wasn't he like in LA for a while while she was like back overseas?
Apparently,
Like,
yeah. Or no, in New York. So not in New York, in York, where she.
okay, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm thinking to myself, like, I've had actual classes that have lasted longer, semesters of college that have lasted longer than the history that y'all have. Anywho,
Deep history, deep. So we kind of start this episode with just after Kaz has left. Wait, I think, right? Is that where we are?
I think so, yeah.
And then, oh yeah, so Joe is there. Okay, yeah, the new people are coming in. Joe's
The
there.
twins came in, Joe, yeah.
Is that where we're starting? And then everybody's hugging, I guess, like saying, like, super excited to see like these new bombshells coming into the building.
Mhm.
Oh, right, Kaz has him. He's still in the game, still, right?
Okay, okay. Yeah, she's still in the game because I think she wakes up Callum the next. Oh gosh, yeah.
I remember that too. That's we haven't got there yet. We were trying to put it behind us, but we
Yeah,
haven't
okay.
got there yet. Still in the past. All right, so Joe is actually hanging out with the girls. Now, Joe is from season
Mhm.
5. Have you watched season 5? That's probably the best season
No,
of Love Island UK. So if you can get a chance to watch
really.
season 5, it's
Okay.
So that season has Arabella. If you know from this most recent episode,
Hmm.
Wes. It's gonna have
Yes.
Amber, who you don't know, then Anna, another girl.
Oh, that's
It's,
the season with Amber.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and so Joe was in that season as well. Pretty much, it's definitely the best season I would say from Love Island UK. But they're all
Okay.
pretty good, especially pre up to season 5. They're all really, really,
Hmm.
really good. I'm surprised that you were turned on by season 6 because season 6 was probably my least favorite season.
That's what everybody says, and I don't know what it was. I think it was so different from a lot of the matchmaking love shows that we have here in the United States. And plus, I don't know. I've got a sentimental piece in my heart for the Brits.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love the Brits, but just season 6 sucks. Like
Yeah, yeah.
now
By
we're seeing
comparison,
it.
it's not giving. And like I said to you, I was just like this. I feel like All Stars is kind of given dry crackers,
Yeah.
and it's just good. No
No,
crumbs are
so
eaten.
I love the Brits. My dad was born in England. Half my family lives in England still, so I'm Brit through and through.
But yeah.
Joe hanging out with the girls, and Georgia Harrison and Molly talks about how they both have kissed Joe. Do you know anything about Georgia Harrison? Actually,
So Georgia Harrison, it's funny the details, kind of slightly against my will that I've started learning about her from I guess another reality show that she did a few years back. I don't know if you've seen the clips from that,
I
but
well, yeah,
yeah, yeah. I, she's special. She thinks that she's giving main girl, but she's definitely given something. I don't know if it's main girl.
yeah. So she was on the challenge. She also did, I believe, she was on X on the Beach as well. Maybe.
Yes,
I
yes.
think that you're referring to. It was a Halloween post where she might have done blackface, and she got a lot of backlash for it. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I
Oh,
wasn't even talking about that.
oh, okay. Well, not that then. But then she got involved with this other guy from, well, you know him from the UK because he's been on pretty much every British television show. He
Uh-huh.
won one season of Celebrity Big Brother UK. His name was Stephen
Okay.
Hare. So Stephen
Okay.
Hare and Georgia were both on a season of the challenge together. And they kind of end up having some sort of relationship type thing
Okay.
insofar as she and him had a little bit of relations in his back garden that was caught on a CCTV that he has. He uploaded this video and onto his OnlyFans, and he just served 1 year in prison for revenge porn. And so that, like, he just got out of prison like last, and so he
Oh.
actually was in court like a year ago, obviously talking about this incident where he basically was making money off of the relations that they had and against her will without her even knowing that it was recorded, uploaded onto his OnlyFans. I love
Um,
the
I
life.
don't know if you noticed this, but my mouth is agape. Agape. Jaw on the ground. Kind of wish I'd popped some popcorn before I sat down because that, oh my gosh. You
So
know what? In all fairness, I was thinking of Georgia Steele, not Georgia Harrison.
okay.
So yeah, but oh my gosh. Okay, so, okay. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
So wait, so what
So
scandal do you know from
invested.
Georgia Steele then? Oh, about the
So
fact
with
that she,
Georgia Steele, it just seems like she's a Georgia Steele, your girl, number one. And then number two, she's giving I know what she was giving on the All Stars, or excuse me, on the challenge.
no, not the challenge. She was on the challenge. She's on All Stars games, you mean?
Yeah, All Stars game, excuse me,
Mhm.
yes. Um, I know what she was giving on that, and it was kind of very pick me behavior then. And now she just I don't know if it's she's just really kind of smelling herself at this point,
Hmm.
but not a girl's girl. She is not a girl's
Say
girl.
that to
When
her.
we talk about some of her behaviors and some of her actions and some of the conversations that she decided she felt so in in desperate need to share about somebody who's supposed to be her friend, her girl. Yeah, I don't I think the moment that she said when I think it was Toby asked her, so what are you thankful for? And she said, I'm so thankful for my long hair, my long natural hair, and my eyes. And I think like fourth or fifth, it was like, and my family or friends. Ma'am, ma'am.
Yeah, we definitely had a field day with that one.
Like, I feel like that pretty much sums up Georgia's steal everything.
Yeah, so to steal your man. So we do learn though that Molly, and so you know Molly as well, then obviously from season 6.
Yes,
And
yes.
Georgia Harrison, they both had kissed Joe at some point. And then Arabella says that she remembers the night where Molly also kissed Joe, and that was a little bit recent, and Molly was screaming a little bit. Um,
Yes.
how are you feeling about Molly and Callum? Are you on the train that you think that they're going to get back together?
I was thinking that they're going to get back. I want them to get back together. I wasn't super invested, but like seeing them, Callum's that I think to a certain extent, when you have been in a relationship, when you've been on a reality show, you're kind of seen as this one character, right? There's a certain archetype that people kind of create in their head, and you become an avatar for that. And I know that a lot of people were like, "Oh, they're so cute, they're so adorable." You know, when they were together for a long period of time. But and then we hear about the breakup, and it's different when you hear about it versus when you see them interact with one another and you see the maturity. And it's not like, to me, I could be wrong, I'm just watching from the outside. They strike me as a couple that, for whatever reason, grew apart, but
Mhm.
there's still that love there. Because even like when, who was it? Tom, I think it was. Was it Tom? Was it Josh? I keep getting, I'll be honest, like I keep confusing a couple of these people with the names and the faces, but the guy who chose Molly, when he was saying, at the recoupling, when he was saying all these wonderful things about her, and you could just see Callum with this huge smile on his face. I have a lot of exes. I ain't smiling if somebody else is picking them. I'm gonna
Well,
be like,
maybe
let me tell you a couple things.
he's smiling for Tom because Tom is his boy. I remember when he
Yeah,
had that nice conversation with Molly, he was like, "Yeah, like I'm happy that you're with my boy Tom," and so he's probably
yeah.
smiling for that. And maybe he's smiling because like he's like, "Whew, okay, okay,
Go
take
on,
her,
take her,
take
take
her."
her.
Like he might have love for her, but I don't think he wants to be with her
I
necessarily.
don't think so either. I think that whatever they had, it looks like, at least within the villa, they will have a nice relationship, at least a cordial relationship, a respectful relationship with one another. I think for her, a better chance of her finding somebody. Colin Loki looks like he's over it. And
Yeah.
after that conversation with Georgia, like he's for sure over it. So I don't picture them getting back together, but anything's possible. I think that they're so cute.
So as it says, Callum is off it, especially since week two, after she took no accountability for kissing
Hmm.
Chris or talking to every man that walks in. Well, everyone was talking to her because she is the it girl, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, he's definitely, I don't think he's into her anymore. I don't think he wanted to get back
Mm-mm.
together with her coming into the
No,
villa.
oh, no, no, no,
So
no. I
I
don't
was
think so
thinking in the
either.
very beginning though, when they made this twist happen, that like maybe it was
Mhm.
all a fake ploy so that
That's
they
what
can
I thought
have like
too.
an engagement at the end of the season or something like that. You know what I mean? But at this point, I don't think that's the case.
I don't think so either. That would make this season so much more epic. Like Loki might bring me back. It might bring me back around because
I
right
think
now
the
I'm
last
like,
few episodes have been pretty good. Like movie night, just
yeah.
like Georgia
Movie
getting
night was so. Oh man, I wish I'd been on for that because that was delicious.
it was
Because I was
very
like, I
good.
hope I was like, I hope that the editors run these clips. They need to run these clips because Georgia was, after the conversation. Who was it with Arabella? After that, anyway, I know we're getting off topic. Go ahead.
All good. Can you tell the twins apart?
No, not a clue.
Well,
Not
okay,
a
I
clue.
figured it out. So Eve is
Hmm.
blonder, and I don't know if she has a boob job or a bigger boob job. So her boobs are bigger than Jess's boobs, and Jess still has blonde hair, obviously, but it's just a little bit less blonde in
That's
the front, and her boobs are smaller. And also Eve has, I don't know if she just
she got her
outlines.
lips.
She's more like this, a little bit more, and it's
Hmm.
a little more like overlined than Jess does usually. So
Okay.
that's how
I
I
guess
tell.
that's what I guess that's what Callum meant when he was saying, "Oh, you guys have blossomed since last we were
Well, they
together."
originally said that they had some work done, so maybe they've had a little bit more. Maybe it's her boobs and maybe some lips.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. So they're talking about the relationships that they've been in. Eve has been in a 3 year relationship, was in a relationship 3 years ago, and Jess 2 years ago. Um, and they're talking about to them about anybody that they want to chat with. And
Hmm.
Georgia Steele, want to keep your cards close to your chest. Oh yeah, Georgia Steele's always asking these questions, like, so who do you want to chat with? I think this is to Joe. He's keeping his cards close to his chest, and I'm just like,
Hmm.
I get it. Like, you're on a TV show, you want to cause the drama, make the drama happen, but I'm like, I don't want Georgia interjecting with anything. I'm over it.
Yeah, she can just hang out with Toby. You've already been messy. You've already made a name. You've already made the splash. You are literally doing the producer's work at this point. It's okay. You can sit this one out.
Please,
You
please.
know?
So then everybody swaps. Now all the girls are talking together, and all the boys are talking together. We learned from Callum that on season 6, or we were reminded, anyways, that he was coupled up with Eve for a week or two.
And
Um,
was not interested.
yeah, I'm like, I don't really see them together at all.
Wait,
Um,
because he winds up coupled up with because this is okay. This is where the confusion. So he was coupled up with Eve last time, but this time he's with Jess, correct?
correct. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So they're gonna play a game of dares. Basically, it's just an opportunity to kiss people for different reasons. I mean, it's very, very Love Island UK, but I kind of wish they got a little bit deeper with some of these things. Like, I want deeper.
Yeah.
I don't need to see necessarily like who would you have a threesome with. I wouldn't mind learning like who do you think would save you, or like like a little bit more like,
Yeah, some thought, some actual thought besides who would
yeah.
I want to sleep with, who would I want to snog, who would I want to, like maybe add some depth to it. But I guess, this is,
A little bit of
I guess
depth.
it's good
Like,
for,
even some of
yeah.
the games, like, I wouldn't mind knowing, um, like, what's your favorite color? Like, I mean, what
Yeah,
food do you
I
like to eat?
literally know nothing about these people outside of the fact that Arabella has apparently dated everybody. Anybody she's kissed, she's had a relationship. And this girl, Georgia Steele and Toby have this history. Like, can I learn something?
But
You
wait,
know?
what else? I haven't heard of them. Well, we know that Georgia Harrison has gone on a retreat of some sort, some spiritual retreat. But like, I haven't
Yeah.
heard them
Oh
visit
God. Yeah,
countries.
poor
I haven't
Casey.
heard of any. I just want to know a little bit more about these people so I can be a little bit more invested. And that's
Yeah.
really, you get invested themselves in like a relationship by talking about things and seeing if
Yeah.
you're compatible.
You need some sort of depth because I think I low-key kind of wonder if the apathy towards the season, I don't know if it's just because, I mean, to me, a lot of these people really are not all stars to begin with, but whatever. But I wonder if part of the apathy is because despite having seen these people on other seasons and knowing them and following them on social media and what have you, there really is that ability to kind of go deeper than a puddle. Like all the surface stuff. They wear cute clothes, they get their hair, they got their teeth, they got their boobs, they got their whatever, their muscles, and you dated this person and dated that person, but what else is there? Because that's how you really get invested. It's like when you know about people's stories.
And I got to say, I might be getting invested into Sophie and Josh a little bit.
They're so cute. I'm so glad that she left that one man.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh wait, from her season. I think he's another Callum,
Yes.
isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, the other Callum.
Is his name Callum? I just
Not
remember.
as good Callum.
I just remember Teeth. Maybe his name is not Callum. Ozzy, do you know
Poor
his name?
Keith.
Yeah, I know the tension is to crack the couples. I get the purpose of these games, but like, I kind of just wish that I could get to know them on a deeper level, so I can be more invested
Yeah.
in their relationships and the show itself.
Yeah, yeah.
So Jess picks a card, and she has to snog 2 Islanders that she fancies the most. She chooses Toby and Casey. Okay.
Which Casey's
Casey,
thrilled.
say again? Connor!
Casey
Yes,
and Toby.
Connor! Thank you!
Connor, there we go. Connor, thank you. We were struggling with those C names.
Absolutely. So Casey picks a card, and he has to choose 2 Islanders for a threesome. He chooses Joanna and Eve. Then Kaz has to choose who's most likely to cheat. She chooses Casey, which was interesting.
Yeah, I almost kind of think that that's like a safe bet,
Like, he would win
because I mean,
that.
yeah, because I don't think that she would, because she's developed a friendship with a lot of these girls, so you don't want to step on their toes. She's friends with Toby. I mean, Toby, that I like, hi, That's not even a red flag right there. That's like a whole sheet of red paper to me. And I would imagine to her to a certain extent as well. So Casey's an easy choice, you know?
Yeah, I guess it's yeah, it would ruffle the least amount of play.
Yeah, exactly.
He does say though that when asked that he has not cheated on anyone. Joe picks a card and it says Islander with the best chat. Joe decides to kiss Molly. Molly has zero chat. Zero. Not funny, not
She's
interesting.
so pretty, but
I like
she's
her.
just
I liked her coming back at Georgia Steele, but like
mhm.
she's really she's very beautiful but very boring.
Yes, yes. The personality of kind of like wet paint at best.
Yeah,
But
pretty
she's
wet paint.
cute, but she's pretty.
And so after the kiss, though, Georgia Steele, your man, Fred Stone, I think his name is that always calls her that. Is it Stone? Fred. Anyways, he's another UK podcaster, and he talks about. He's actually you need to listen to him because
Okay,
like
I'll follow him.
he like the the things that he comes up with is just like he just speaks really fast and like he's really kind of cruel to these people sometimes. It's like he's just so quick with like his like quips. It's yeah. So he's the one that came up with Steal Your Man. Fred's something. I can't remember right now. So Georgia Steele asks Molly, was that your first time, Moll? Because she just heard that there was a little snog a couple of months ago.
Exactly.
Georgia needs to ask Molly. She has something against Molly. Like she's
Yes, it looks like I don't know if it's I think it's that competition. I think that they're both going. I think that Molly just naturally is giving off main character energy, and I feel like George is somebody who feels like she's got to achieve it and is working for it, and it comes across like she's intimidated. She's intimidated.
Do you know what I think? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, is that chances are maybe Molly has her boobs done, but I don't know if she's ever. I don't think she's ever got any work on her face. Georgia
Mm,
has had work on her face.
yes.
I've noticed for sure. Like at first, I was like, maybe she's just grown into her face, but no, it
No.
looks like she's fully had a nose job and like we're thinking buccal fat removal. And so
Hmm.
I think that maybe she doesn't have the actual confidence that her face and her looks would have normally generated her if she had been looking
Yeah.
that way her entire life. So some
Absolutely.
people develop a really amazing personality when they're not the cutest person in the room. But for
Hmm.
her, she just, in my opinion, anyways, just developed insecurities. And even though she's
Absolutely.
had the work done, she's still, her personality hasn't really stepped up to be
Mm-mm.
confident as she should. I think she should be very confident. I think she's very,
She's
very
a very cute girl. She's a very cute girl, you know, and if you're looking at her follows and her social media, a lot of people really like to keep up whatever she's doing. It's attracting a particular base of people, and enjoy that. Not everybody is, you know, yeah. You don't have to make yourself better by tearing down somebody else, you know.
exactly. And it seems like she's just always trying to, fight.
On Molly's neck, on
Molly is
Molly's neck.
just not, she doesn't even, I don't think she notices.
Dust, dust. Okay, whatever.
Eve has to snob someone that you'd like to couple with, and she chooses Casey. Anton has to choose two Islanders to kiss, and he chooses for Joe and Joanna to kiss. I was like, interesting, Anton.
Okay.
Georgia has to snog the person that she would most likely want to introduce to her family and friends, Toby, obviously. Womp womp. Sophie has to choose somebody or snog someone that she would like to spend the night in the hideaway with, and she kissed Chris. Oh,
Chris
maybe it was
is
like just
serious.
you're not in a couple with. Maybe they said that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I could kind of see it because Sophie seems like a playful girl, and Lord knows Chris, he's got that court jester thing going on. So
How do you feel about Chris?
I like him. I feel like okay after I think what is it the next episode that we're gonna kind of talk about after his conversation and the interactions between him and or lack thereof between him and Johanna. I Me personally, I think that part of the reason why he has this funny guy personality is kind of to cover up his own insecurities
Mhm.
because it's clear that he definitely felt certain things really, really deeply. And I think sometimes when there is that lack of that fear of vulnerability, it's easier to be the funny man than it is to, just really be honest. And there might be that might be his version of insecurity.
100%.
Like, you know, so I
I
like
wouldn't
him.
be
Poor
surprised
guy.
if he wasn't that cute growing up. He developed a personality, and then he became a
Yeah.
good-looking guy, and his confidence didn't hasn't matched it yet.
It hasn't quite caught up just yet. And that's so unfortunate because he seems like he feels so much fun to hang out with, but at some point you just feel like, okay, let's be serious here. Like what's really happening?
And I have to say that him and Arabella seemingly got more
Yes.
serious at some point, and maybe that's why
They
he pushed her away, was because it got too vulnerable, and he felt
mhm.
that unsafe.
I think that yeah, I think part of it was that, and I think part of it was because when he came up, he was kind of feeling himself. He was feeling himself because a lot of the girls were kind of interested in him at the time. It seemed like he had all these options, and now I've seen someplace else where someone else said, it might be low key like this thing with Johanna is a little bit of karma. I hate to say it like that.
I mean, he didn't treat Arabella that well, to be honest.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get what you give. So Toby
Mm.
has to snog the Islander who he could see a future with, and he chooses Georgia Steele. Sure, Toby.
Oh,
Sure,
Lord.
sure. Then Josh has to choose a person that's here for love and a person that's here for the followers. So everybody like, do it for real, do it real, do it real. Like,
He's
and,
here for the mess.
so he's like, so he goes to Sophie for love, and
Hmm.
then for followers, he goes over and he's like, "Well, I'm not going to snog my friend's ex," but he kisses
Hmm.
Georgia Steele on the cheek, and obviously she kicks off about this.
Of
Um,
course.
and so Josh is, defending himself, saying like, "Yeah, it didn't work on the outside, so why are you coming back?
Yeah,
If it worked on the outside, you wouldn't be coming onto the show unless you're trying to get some clout." It's
exactly.
factual.
Yeah. He's not right. No lie was detected.
And so that was the end of the game. But Toby is obviously annoyed with Josh's comment. And this is, I love Kaz. Kaz can't actually do any wrong, but she has to stop giving advice to Toby because I
Yes.
don't agree with her advice here, where she's basically agreeing with Toby, allowed to be annoyed with somebody having an opinion about your
Hmm.
girlfriend coming onto the show.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Like it's okay to sit. That's another one. It's okay to sit it out. Like you don't have to add your 2 cents into this one.
I did
I
like
get
though.
it that that's your friend, but
Who's your friend? Oh, I was talking about Kaz.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, even here before that part, George is talking like, he was in LA, I was in York, we have this deep history, like we didn't have the chance to be able to invest in it deeply enough, whatever. And it's like, if you're gonna go through that much effort just to say like you're not just here for the followers, you're here for the
Hmm.
followers.
You're clearly yes. Hit dog hollers. Hit dog hollers.
It's like, yeah, exactly. So Kazdo does give good advice here when she says, just pick and choose your battles. And it's true. Like, this is
Yeah,
not really a battle that you need to really have here in a game. It's a game.
exactly.
Choose somebody. And if it's untrue, then it shouldn't bother you. So Casey is sitting between the twins. And he's annoyed, though, that Kaz said that he would cheat. And he does have a conversation with them that he's never cheated in a relationship before. And so they like
Hmm.
this. The twins are okay, but they're just kind of,
The thing of it is with the twins, they didn't really give a lot the original season they were on. I
except
think
for the
that
fact they're
they're
twins. That's their personality.
yeah, I mean beyond that, like they've made their entire brand about being twins, but that's not a personality.
At all. Oh, I get it. I know.
Yeah.
So Kaz, Toby, Josh, and Georgia Steele are already all talking and about the comment that Josh made, and Georgia says that's morally wrong. Who is she to talk about
Ma'am.
morals and it being a sensitive topic? And you went for my couple. You didn't just go for
Oh,
me. You went for my
wait, wait,
couple.
wait, 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 wait. The couple of the minute, couple of the second, give it like another day and a half. Like,
What have you
ma'am.
done? Huh. Josh is like, it wasn't a big deal. Like, you thought you'd shake it on the chin, which most people did. But I think
Yes.
She just needs to have the storyline revolving around her, so she
And
needs
it hit a little too close to home. I think it hit a little too close to home.
100%. 100%. So then we see a kind of a flirty conversation with Joe and Molly talking about how to say fire in Spanish. And so Joe was saying
Mhm.
fuego, and Molly was saying, no, I think fire is fuego, if I'm not mistaken. And she's like, oh, I know how to say smack my ass in Spanish, which is pega me culo. I was like, okay, Molly. I was like,
All right,
that's the
Molly.
funniest thing she's ever said. Now she is talking to Joe and saying, like, I don't know why you chose me for the best chat. She's like, I am the worst person to chat with. I'm the most reserved. I'm like, at least she knows.
She's self-aware. I stand a self-aware queen. Okay.
100%. But he says, well, I've kissed you recently, so it was an easy
Mhm.
choice. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. I'm like, does Joe have game? I guess you haven't seen his seasons. You don't know him.
No, I gotta go back and watch it. That'll be my homework for tonight.
It's like 50 episodes. Like, I don't
Oh,
usually.
okay. Well, I don't. I might have to get the Cliffs Notes.
No. That's not the season that you get the Cliff Notes. That's when you have to watch. Like,
Okay. Okay.
so it can make it like, the next few months project, but like
Oh
season
gosh.
5 is an
Okay.
epic. I got my mom watching it with me, and she was crying, and she's like, "Oh my!" Like she was on
Oh
journey.
gosh.
Like,
Okay, well now I'm invested. I haven't even seen it and I'm invested already. It's like, oh, if there's tears and there's love, like I'm all in.
oh my god, it is a ride. It starts but you need to see it.
Okay. Okay.
You need to see it. So, what did I write? We need to know. Sophie and Eve asking Josh about Casey and okay, I thought it was really cute. So Sophie, Eve, and Josh were all kind of lying on the daybed, and
Yeah.
they're asking Josh about what's going on with like Casey and Joanna, and Josh is like, I don't know, and they're basically like, well, Sophie's like, well, go find out. We need to know,
Yeah.
and like that's
I love
the
that.
moments where I was like, that's kind of datey. That's like kind of like the
Yeah,
way to
yeah.
go and get the tea from the
I
boy
love
and
that.
bring back to the relationship. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly. Here's a little project. Come on, bring it back. That's what you're here for.
and it just made me seem like, okay, maybe they are getting a little bit closer here. This is where I started to stand them a little bit more.
Yeah,
I
they're so
was side-eyeing
cute.
Josh for a bit.
Yeah, I mean it's easy to. I think I don't know. I really like. I have a soft. I've always had a soft spot for Sophie. She's so adorable. Half the time, I don't know what she's saying. I'm glad that they put subtitles from time to time, but oh, she's so cute and she seems so genuine.
Those dimples, they get you.
I know.
So while Sophie was there, though, Joe decides to walk over and pull Sophie, and she talks about the fact that he's messaged her before. No, he said you messaged me before, and apparently she
Hmm.
commented on one of his posts. Um,
Oh Lord.
and she does say that she has something good with Josh, but she
Hmm.
says, "But we're not closed off or anything." So she didn't really shut it
Yeah, yeah,
down completely, but
yeah.
didn't she told him kind of the
She didn't
truth.
encourage it, but she also didn't shut it down.
Yeah,
And I think that for at least for Joby, he's trying. He's that's it's
he just
Love Island.
he's a bombshell.
You get yeah, you got to give it a try. So
Everybody's getting ready for bed, and Casey still is looking forward to the next day because he's going to talk to both of the twins separately. We see Sophie telling Josh that she said this was in the bed, like when it was
mhm.
nighttime, that she didn't say that they were closed off. And
Mhm.
he says, well, if that's the case, then he's going to take a step back. And I was like, okay. So he's a little bit
Okay.
offended that she
Yeah,
didn't
it
know. And
was a
I'm
little
like,
hurt.
he hurt. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like, can I believe this man? I don't know if I trust those
I
eyes.
know it's hard. I feel like it's hard too with him just because it's like, you've kind of moved a little weird, and I just have you met your match? Have you really actually met
So
somebody that makes you want to change?
that, and I think it's because like she is willing to just drop him.
Look, the second that you're with somebody and you're like, I don't mind leaving. I will pack myself. I will Houdini up out of this. People's attitudes change real quick.
If they're into you, yeah. So
Hmm.
because she was
Yeah.
just like, fine. And when he does the same thing to her, and she's like, oh no, okay, no. So maybe, yeah, maybe they have met their match, and like they're
They're so
they're in it
cute.
for now. Do you think that they'll last outside of the
I
game.
don't know. I think so. How old?
Oh,
I'm sorry. One
you
more time.
just popped out. Yeah,
Oh, Wi-Fi, hotel Wi-Fi.
no
How old is Sophie?
Ooh, I think
Like
I'm gonna guess
late.
26. Let me see if I can look. What's her last name?
Okay.
Piper, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm guessing 26, but she is 25, turning 26 this year.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
they seem like such babies to me. They're so little. They're so
I
young.
know.
But
She's
it's
born in
but you know
90.
what?
It's wild.
Oh, all right. Let's not talk about what I was doing in '98. But anyway, I think, huh?
I graduated high school.
Okay, I was a sophomore. Oh, wait. Yeah, I was a sophomore. We're right there. Right there. Oh, God. Anyway, I think depending upon their age, it's in and where they're at in their lives. Like you can definitely tell the ones that really truly are here. Like obviously here for clout, obviously here, get their stance up again. But I don't know. She just seems like she's kind of calmed down a little bit more and might want something a little more real. And if that's the case, and if Josh is willing to meet her there, I think that they have a better chance of making things work than Toby and Georgia Steal Your Man.
Now, do we know? Have we heard if there's going to be a prize? I'm assuming it's 50 grand or 50,000 pounds, but
I
nothing's
don't
been
know.
stated. I don't
I feel
believe.
like the prize is them like running up my anytime minutes watching the show, to be honest. But
Fair, fair, fair. And also, they're all getting a big spike on their visibility.
yeah,
I mean, most
exactly.
of these
Maybe,
people are plus 1 million followers for sure already.
yeah.
But yeah, they're going to get another big surge. So maybe they're going to have more brand deals with Boohoo and PLT.
I mean,
I'll take one.
yeah, I feel like that's the reason why a lot of people go on these shows at this point.
I mean, I would love a brand deal. Give me a brand
I
deal.
mean, who might turn that down?
I want a brand deal.
I get to hang out on the beach in a bikini, or like I get to hang out at a villa on TV, see cute people, drink like, some champagne every night, have a little party, maybe snog a few people, and then when I leave, I get a brand deal. Yes, please, hi. Why is life so hard? Sign me
Wait,
up.
so hard, so hard. So Sophie, oh sorry, I already talked about that. So in the morning, we see the twins and Joe, like so all
Mhm.
like the new bombshells all talking together. Oh,
Yes.
sorry, they join in the big room with everybody. Um, and you see Sophie having a little, she's brushing her teeth, and Josh comes over to her, and she's like, you wouldn't cuddle me at all last night."
Yeah.
And that's
Mm.
also where you saw Kaz waking up Callum, and you hated that
Yeah.
part, right?
He's so cute.
Oh, you liked it,
Kaz
okay.
is so cute to me.
I was like, nobody likes that Kaz though. Like, ah.
I know. I feel so bad. Like, justice for Kaz.
I just am like, just don't do that. I mean, I'm a fine person to be woken up. Like people can do that to me, but a lot of people don't like being woken up.
Oh,
Um,
I'd be so annoyed.
I'd
I'm not a morning person.
be okay. I'm okay in the morning. So Arabella has FOMO because everybody's like, "Where's Arabella? Where's Arabella for the game?" And I guess she was sick or something because she
Yeah.
was there, but she said she could hear everybody laughing.
Yeah.
FOMO.
You could tell she was a little salty. She was like, why is everybody having fun without me?
Callum mentions to everybody in the morning that him and Eve have been a couple before, but it was not romantic. Um, See, and he makes that clear. It wasn't romantic.
At all. I mean, the thing that I have to give Callum credit for this, like, if he talk about somebody standing on business and being 10 toes down, he's like, yeah, I'm not interested. I'm gonna be very nice about it, but nah, I'm good.
So all the new Bobs are talking. They think that Jess should go talk to Callum and that Eve might suit Casey. I'm like, okay.
Hmm.
So Joss basically tells Sophie that he will not be chilling with her unless she shuts it down. If you're not going to shut it down, I was like, okay, you're.
Okay.
That's. I mean, if someone said that, it's kind of hot.
I mean, came through with BDE. I mean, who am I? Oh, you want to claim me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Daddy. Okay, never mind. I don't need to talk to anybody else. Yes, please take me.
Exactly. That's like what you're waiting for. You play
Why did you do this sooner?
exactly.
They're cute. They're cute.
Arabella did have a little bit of a flirt 5 years ago with Joe, but nothing really came about
Who
it.
hasn't she had a flirt with?
Seriously. I mean, it's fine, not trying to slut shame, but it's like
Yeah.
you become the person that everybody doesn't think is going to be in something serious. They're not going to take
Hmm.
look at you for something
Exactly.
serious. Unfortunately, like if
Exactly.
you're the party fun girl, let's make out, let's flirt. And
Hmm. It's
somebody
hard to,
outside of that group will have to be the one that you can get in a longer
yeah,
relationship because they just don't see you in that way.
absolutely. And I think, but it's also weird because I think to myself, like, if I put my business in the shades, if I considered every guy that I might have kissed at one point in my life, like I would have so many exes, just kiss. And it sounds like for her, she quantifies these men as exes. I'm like, ma'am, that was a drunken night at a pub. Like, it'll be okay.
But maybe she thought it was going to be more, and then it kind of got into like a ghost
True.
thing, or maybe they're texting a little bit, and then it just like petered off.
Yeah. Yeah. But girl, have her fun. Look, I'm a girl's girl. Like, knock it out, girl.
But I think that she wants something more substantial, and I think
Yes.
she's getting hurt by the fact that like
It's not
she.
materializing.
Mhm.
And didn't she just get out of a relationship with somebody right before she came
I
on
think
the
it was like
show?
a footballer, somebody famous, and she's
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like, so you have that going on, and then you have like competition with other girls that you're quite literally competing for the attention of these a finite amount of men in this one. Like, yeah, I mean, I could definitely see where ugh, thicker skin than me. But anyway,
oh,
go ahead.
especially like you haven't seen season 5 yet to not be a super fan of Arabella.
Okay.
She's
Oh,
still in the
okay.
season, but like
Uh-huh.
a lot of this is a little bit karma. You gotta go watch it.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Let me go pull this up on my Hulu right now.
Let me get it started. You should buy
Yeah.
like I have like when I do watch the live feeds, I have this reader, a BB
Uh-huh.
reader, and so you can fast forward. So if you want to watch it on like 2x or something, like
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
I don't know if you can do it on an iPad, but it's a Chrome extension. I'll message it to you after. So I
Definitely.
can speed up anything that I'm watching. Like I don't know if you can do it for live, but you can do it for anything
Hmm.
recorded that like it's on my computer. So
Cool. Thank you.
yeah, like so if you want to just like blow through some seasons,
Yeah, because I will run through all of those seasons.
that would really make me excited. That would like I'd
I've
feel
got I've honestly I've got 27 hours on this layover tonight, so or like this trip. So I'm like, let me go ahead and dive into some Love Island.
I don't know if you could have enough time, but I appreciate the getting
Yeah,
the
chipping
getting
away.
a dent into it. I appreciate for sure. Sophie talks to Joe, and she
Hmm.
definitely lets him know that she's more closed off than she thought.
Yes.
When she woke up, she realized that like I wish that like I wasn't as open. I said I wasn't as open, and so I just want to
Hmm.
close it off because she wants to fully focus on Josh.
That's cute.
So she's playing this seemingly right because she wasn't really great
Yeah.
with Connor. So
Hmm.
it seems like she has matured a bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Eve and Callum talk. And she said she's only met Callum, obviously, because he was from her season, and everybody else in the
Uh-huh.
village. She doesn't remember anybody's names. She doesn't know who they are. Everybody's new to her. But she did rule out Callum and Josh just because she kind of knows who they are, and then they knows their
Yeah.
exes and stuff like that. And so Sophie is the twins' bestie because they're on the same season together. So
Exactly.
they're kind of off limits in her eyes, which is makes
Which
sense.
makes sense. It's fair. Girl's girl.
Girl. Oh,
There's some people that could take some notes. Maybe pull out like, but
100%. So Arabella is hanging out with Georgia Harrison and
Mhm.
Molly. And Arabella's talking about that there might be something there with Joe. And so she thinks he's good looking. And Molly thinks it should be Operation Joe Bella. Go get your fella. And
That was
Arabella
cute.
goes and pulls Joe for a chat. Flirtatious
And
Arabella
she
is
was so they were both just cheesy and they were grinning, just grinning, grinning, grinning. I like that.
well,
I
she
don't know,
finds
maybe
love
I
and
just
then
love
accidentally
love.
say again.
Huh?
You love love.
I love love.
I do too. I do love love. Do you think that this is real love here happening?
No, I think that at this point, you kind of like cycled through a lot of other people in the house, so
Someone
make it
new
work.
or
Yeah,
someone old that
exactly.
she never fully got to,
Invested or really kind of tried, so
she finds his London accent very sexy.
Oh my
And they
gosh.
both decide that they're going to get to know each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, they
But
both like flirting with each other too. Hmm.
so one thing I did write down about that is that to me it almost seemed like she was a little bit more into him than he might have been. But then again, I feel like he kind of has like a very kind of
Laid back.
chill, kind of cool, kind of understated attitude or kind of swag. I don't know. Okay, let's not use swag. Let's not go that far. But like his personality is a little bit more reserved by comparison to hers. So I don't know. I could be completely and totally misreading things, but she definitely seemed like she was way more interested. And he
Well,
was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, we'll check this out. Yeah, it's fine."
yeah, I definitely think he's playing a little bit,
Closer to the
suave and
chest.
cool or
Yeah,
whatever. Um, but she's definitely laying it on and making it very clear that she's interested.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so he's a Virgo. I'm just checking. I think what's Arabella? I think she's a Pisces. I think.
Oh, that would definitely explain that.
Well, her looking for love and like being,
Hmm.
romantic.
That'd be
Let's
cute.
see. Let me double check. But they're sister signs, so yeah, she's a Pisces. So yeah, they could get along. They're gonna
Okay.
be opposite signs, so that means that like
Yin to their
they,
yang.
yeah, basically they could be compatible. They can also just not be compatible, but like they could balance each other out.
Yeah.
That's where the term opposites attract came from, I believe, is the sister signs. Eve chats with Casey.
Hmm.
And he mentions that Eve is smiling a lot, and they ask, "What's your
Hmm.
type?" And he says, "Blonde girls." I'm like, can we just get a personality type?
Another one, right? Like I like somebody who likes to go hiking. I like somebody who likes to, go to the. No, I like blonde. Oh, okay, all right. Put a blog and wig on anything. Is that going to be your thing? It's just give me
Sometimes we
more.
say like you don't like when guys fetishize things. Like I don't like when,
Yeah.
right? Is but like
Same.
liking blondes, is that fetishizing blonde
I,
women?
you know what? I've never thought of it, but it could be. It absolutely could be because if somebody were to come to me and say like, "Oh, I'm into black women," it's like, oh, okay. So anything else? Anything weird?
Or like I was saying this the other day, I was like, or when you have a friend be like, "Oh my god, like I have this friend and he only dates black girls.
Oh
Like he
God.
loves black girls." And I was like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
no."
Immediately like, I'm good. I'll sit this one out.
Like that, like that's not a sell for me. That's like a ick.
Yeah, like tell me like, oh, well, you enjoy painting and he enjoys painting too. That's cute.
And if
Oh,
they said, and he's dated people outside of his race in the past, I'd be like, okay, that's
then
interesting.
yes, yeah. I don't, I'm not a project.
Please.
That's a whole other. Ugh. But anyhow, yeah. So he's into blondes. Great.
Mhm. I'm like, okay,
This is the perfect island for him at this point.
that's true. Who's not blonde? I guess Georgia
Right?
Steele.
Well,
So
you give her enough time and some peroxide. I'm sure, like
I know
by the next
she's gonna
episode.
be like single white female with Molly. Like
We tried on Molly's clothes by the end of the week.
Sophie
Ugh.
and Josh come back together, and she kind of apologizes to him, saying that she shouldn't have ever said that to him. And she's like, I'm sorry, but I shut it off with who was it?
Oh, with Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
And he says, I probably will shut it down if a bombshell comes in. And then when she like says, well, I'm gonna shut it down, he's like, okay, I will shut it down. So they finally came to terms that
Good.
they're
There you
close.
go.
They're not going to turn their head for somebody else. It's done. Done.
It's about
Josh,
time.
if you screw this up, I'm gonna come for you because I don't trust
I
you
know. I'm like, it's like I want to be so hopeful, but in the back of my head, I'm kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop with him.
always.
Don't mess this up. Just don't mess this up, bro.
Jess and Casey are up on the terrace, and she just talks about the fact that she doesn't really have a type. And he mentions again that his exes were blondes, and just like, okay, well, I'm blonde and my sister's blonde, so are you saying
Yeah.
you're into us? Like, what does that mean?
And do we just become interchangeable at some point? So substitute one for the other? Because doesn't he say, like, at one point he was, or maybe this is later on, but where he was like, "Oh, yeah, I had a conversation with one, but then they were like, we didn't talk about it with me, but then it was the other one, or something like that." Yeah, it's just like, so outside of the fact that they're blonde, is there anything else that really is making you gravitate towards them? You know, like, is the conversation so good that it's, you know?
As we're talking about outside of the black people saying that people that are looking to potentially swirl in some sort of capacity.
Hmm.
We're not talking about people, black people dating other black,
Yeah.
because like it would be very different if a black man says I only date black women. And like, be like,
Hmm.
okay, that's
Exactly.
very different than a white
Yeah.
man saying I
Yes.
only date black women or
Yeah,
lesbian.
there's a lot more lived culture there. Lived experience, you know, proximity and lived experience by comparison to, coming in for a visit.
Exactly. Now the most uncomfortable duo of them all is Anton and Georgia Harrison, who have come to
Oh,
terms with their relationship status as
yes.
being we're unavailable. And then they had some awkward pecs. She is not into that man at all.
No,
When she's
no.
talking to him, she's just like, yeah, like you're so nice to me. Oh yeah, you really like, yeah, you really treat me nicely. Like no emotion on her
She
face,
at
never
all.
looking at him. It's like she doesn't want to
Mm-mm.
connect too much because she's gonna break
Yeah.
it up with him as soon as they're outside the villa,
Oh, absolutely. As soon as it like she's in it for the win. She's in it for the win. And I guess good on you, girl, but like, oh, like low key kind of feel bad for Anton because he's got that puppy
I
dog look.
just like that's how he's from season 5 as well. Like this is his
Season
thing.
5 is giving.
But like these are not even like the good people from season
These
5.
are the leftovers.
Good people like they've got work to do. Like, no, I'm just kidding. But
They've
like,
got jobs. They've got actual real relationships. Like it's
no,
oh
no, I mean
God.
like they're making their money. Like,
Yeah.
Tommy and other Molly May.
Yeah, yeah.
They're from season
They're
5,
so cute.
and they didn't even
Oh
win.
my.
Okay, so come on,
Yeah, it's like it's so oddly enough, I actually had heard about them long before I even knew about like Love, really knew about Love Island.
because he was
Um,
fighting against.
yeah, yeah, because yeah, he's from the Fury family, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but like, weren't they having that all those beasts with what's that not troublemaker, but like instigator person? I think he's blonde.
Like one of the Paul boys,
Yeah, I think so.
Logan
Yeah,
Paul,
Logan Paul,
Jeff,
is that his name?
yeah, I don't know, Logan Paul, I think, Jeff Paul, Chris Paul, Paul
Ozza?
Bunyan, I don't know, I don't keep it.
I think it's Logan Paul, but I could be making that up.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So they give each other some weird pecks. This is Anton and Georgia, and
It's
like
so dry. So
nobody can turn my head, and she's like, yeah, yeah, me neither, and like she's just like just biting her tongue and hoping that it's going to be over soon. She hates her life.
it's like she's looking over his shoulder at a calendar, like, how many more days do I have left?
It's like, okay, 7 days. I can do this for 7 more days. Joe
White
says,
knuckling it.
say again.
She's white knuckling it the whole way.
Joe says, I've got a text. There is going to be a recoupling. So we see them all getting ready for the night.
Mhm.
Tom thinks that Joe is going to be picking Molly. So he's a little bit nervous because they have had a chat. And like,
Mhm.
Tom is a little nervous about it. We
Yeah.
see a toast to an amazing night and big decisions. And then, okay, so Joanna starts like introducing a game that I didn't
Mhm.
understand the game. It was like, okay, so someone's gonna make a sound and the person with their eyes closed is gonna guess who made the sound. I was like,
Yeah, it's like I don't know what, ma'am? What's
it's like
happening here?
you can see who's sitting where and you can see where the sound comes from. Like, I guess if they get up and they move, but I was like, I don't know, this game sounds dumb.
Yeah,
But we were
yeah.
saved by the text. Arabella
Thank
gets a
God for
text.
this.
We have to all go to the fire pit for this recoupling.
Mhm.
First up is Joe, because all the bombshells are going to be first. Joe
Yeah.
doesn't want to step on anyone's toes. And in the end, he chooses Arabella, and she was super surprised.
Hmm.
Then Jess goes, saying that she was pleasantly surprised by Callum. Um, and she thinks that they're going to get along really well.
I
And then
think Callum was
Eve,
surprised too.
yeah, Callum was like, okay.
Okay.
And then Eve chooses Casey,
Hmm.
and she felt that he was someone in particular that she really enjoyed getting to know so far. And he was her favorite of everybody that she got to know.
Yeah.
Okay, other things that Anton knows he is third choice in a two-man race. He saw in 4K, she said that he had the ick. Yep,
Yes.
everyone is a simp and accept his place. I laugh my ass off. I guess maybe he does, and he's just hoping that like maybe he can wear her down. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I think so at this point, It's kind of like yeah, yeah. I think he knows. He knows. I feel like you have to know. You have to know in the back of your head.
Well, maybe he's never really been with somebody that's really liked him or something before, so maybe this is normal.
That's oh, poor
I know.
poor
I feel
thing.
bad for Anton. I do.
Yeah.
But like I wish that he went and Tyler stayed. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's just what I
Uh,
think.
okay. I really can't stand Tyler.
But like I would have liked to see him do something
Actually get a
more.
chance to do something beyond, just
I
show
know.
up for,
Come on.
just shake it up.
Tom is up next and he wants to close it off with this person and chooses Molly because he could see her meeting his family and getting involved in his life. And so, okay, they're
Okay.
closing it off. He wants to close it off with her. Okay.
Okay. Trying to get that 500,000 for 50,000.
500? No, it will
I
never
don't know.
happen.
How much did they
50.
get for this?
50 was
Oh.
most seasons were 50,000 pounds. So like
Oh, okay.
7,500, maybe 80,000 US
Okay. I
to
could
split.
roll through a couple of weeks with somebody.
To split though, it's not that much.
Oh.
It's about
Hmm.
the boohoo deal. Anton is next.
Right.
Oh my god, what like even everything that he says gives me the ick. Poor girl. She's gorgeous and amazing and has the ability to make me laugh and she's been worth the wait and chooses Georgia Harrison and she's like, okay, hopefully there's only like two more rows like recoupling ceremonies I have to deal with. Hopefully.
Hanging on for dear life, poor girl.
Toby's next. She's stunning, and I, you gravitate towards that special someone, and she's gorgeous. Choosing
Hmm.
Georgia
Of
Steele.
course.
Josh is next, and talks about how beautiful she is, and how he's enjoyed every day getting to know her, and that no one is going to turn his head. And I don't want to say close off because it's cringe. It is cringe,
It
but
is.
I like that he said that, it was his
Yeah.
personality. But he chooses Sophie, and I'm
Yeah.
happy that he had, like at least had a better speech because when he did like the proposal in Snog Mary Pie, his speech wasn't great.
Yeah, it
So
was not good. He's
so happy
definitely put in some work.
stepped it up. Chris is last, talking about how she lights up the room, every room that she enters. She's a beautiful creature, you're calling me a creature. But he does choose Joanna, leaving Kaz
Ah,
by herself, standing up
poor
there
Kaz.
where
I
she
feel
could
like poor
attack.
Kaz. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say she gets a text and she's going to be dumped from the island.
I'm of two mind with Kaz. To me, it was clear from the very beginning she's been here before. I feel like she came to support Liberty, and
Have you
because
watched their
they're
season?
besties.
No.
I'm sorry.
Have you watched their season? Season.
Yes, yes. I saw their season there and their friendship, and actually I followed they're actually the two from Love Island that I started following initially on Instagram. So it's clear that she came for Liberty. And I feel like to a certain extent, because I've seen kind of the conversations on Twitter and stuff where it's like, well, you should have known going in, especially Kaz, and especially with the history that Love Island has had with, especially when it comes to Black women. You know anytime you step into that house what to expect. I think that Kaz was ready to go. I think she was ready to go when Liberty left. I think that Kaz has been done. She's pretty okay with it. I'm kind of happy that she's able to leave the shackles of Love Island behind.
But
Just
one thing though that like I agree everything that you're saying, is that it's really frustrating though that because the producers do not respect her and care about her love journey, that everybody's
yes,
just like, just just jump Kaz already,
which is
take care of the
sad.
show. But like I still want her to be on there for visibility, for her to get some eyeballs on her, for her to get these brand deals.
Yeah,
Like her being dumped from the show, yes, it's going to be better for her like mental health because the producers don't care about her and her
yeah,
experience. But like I also hate the fact that that also means that she has to forego getting any potential brand deals. So it's kind of like
absolutely.
it's a piss.
Yeah,
It
yeah, and
sucks.
wow, was it? Were you discussing this the other day, or maybe it was somebody else? But they were talking about like who potentially could they have brought in?
Probably me because like I don't even know
Okay.
like who I don't
But
know. Like
yeah, like
everybody
because
that
who's
likes
really
Black.
out there? Yeah, who like really truly, and not just because I feel like to a certain extent with Tyler when he came in on her season, it was like you've seen all the discord, you've seen all the conversations, and you know that anybody who's going to get linked with them, there's going to have that longevity there. By comparison to like India and Dami, like the two of them, I love the two of them. They were so cute. And then who else was there? Shaq? Was it Shaq? Was that his name?
Tanya. Hmm.
Yeah, it's just I want Kaz to have that. And it would have been nice. I would imagine she'll have that outside, but it would have been nice to be to for people to actually see on TV a darker skinned Black woman having an actual love adventure, like watching that love journey and getting the opportunity to see her blossom and see her be nurtured and cared for, as opposed to always being the person who has to be classy and strong and dignified. It's like, let us be soft and pink. Like
Absolutely.
we get to have that. It would have been nice for us to get a chance to see that with Kaz.
Yeah, but nope, not in the UK.
Yeah, no.
Toby was crying about this one though. He was very, very
That choked me up. That choked me up. I was good, and then Toby started, and I was like, oh, not Toby.
upset. So we're finally on today's episode, starting off with
Yes.
Molly being really upset about Kaz leaving. But she says that Tom and her are closed off, and
Hmm.
she agrees with this. She's happy to be
Yeah.
closed off with Tom. I'm like, really? Even though he's like 6 years younger than you? I'm like, okay,
I
5 years
mean,
younger.
it works. It's
I don't know.
it's
Tom doesn't have a personality to me. I mean, I guess they both don't.
they don't. I feel like that's part of the reason why they'll get along so well, because water seeps its own level.
It's true.
They're both as
It's
deep
true.
as a. Well, anyhow.
Hi, Miss Love. Miss Love says maybe Mike, but I don't know if Kaz would like him or get the ick. I don't know if that would work. As Mike, I like Mike,
Yeah. Me
but I
too.
didn't love him on game just because he was standing
I
behind Johnny Middleton, and I was like, Mike. Ugh.
Yeah, no.
Um,
Not a
but
fan.
he's a Leo and Kaz is a Scorpio. That vibe, those don't really work well together.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if they would vibe.
I don't think so. I don't
Oh, but
think
you
that
know
they
who Mike
would.
is, right? Because that's season 6. Yeah, he's a bit full on. I think he wouldn't. I don't think Kaz would be interested in him.
Mm-mm. Yeah, she's a little bit more chill.
She needs herself. Wait, have you seen last season, last summer with
Parts of it.
Whitney and Logan,
No, I don't think I did.
with like Catherine and Scott and Ella and Ty.
No, I've got like so much Love Islanding to catch up
Oh,
on.
you have a lot,
It's
a lot.
okay.
So have
Okay.
you watched any of like US?
Yes, I saw the season with Cash, or wait, was that her name?
Cachet, yeah, season 4.
Cache. I saw that one.
I
I
think it's four.
saw the first. I think I saw the first season because I think they had. I just did a marathon of like the first, second, and third or yeah, because they're up to four seasons now, right? I know I haven't seen the last season of it,
Right. Wait, Cash is
but
season 3, I think. Hold on. Season 1, I can't remember. It's that blonde girl that won, Elizabeth.
yeah, I was
Everybody.
yeah.
Season 2 was
And then there was
this.
like the other. There was like another season with this one girl who like it just seemed like she was kind of nuts, and she was with the guy and like with all the tattoos and yeah, I can't remember any of these people. The only person that I officially remember is Cash. I remember Cash, and then I remember the season with Justine and Sally
Okay.
and
And then
Johnny.
did you watch the season with Zeta?
No. Mm-mm.
So that's season 4, I think. Season 5, then you didn't watch likely. That's the most recent one, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, just need to know. Got some work
Okay.
to do though.
I got some homework. I got like books, just stacks and stacks.
It's a lot though.
Oh God.
But start with season 5 and then go backwards, I would say. And then
Okay.
Callum and Georgia Steele talk because she wants to settle things.
I've
Oh,
been waiting for this. I've been
okay.
waiting for this.
Okay, go.
Okay. I'm sorry. I feel like okay, Georgia knows what she's doing. She's not a stupid girl. She's absolutely not a stupid girl.
I'm
And
not
fresh
confused. She's so
how are you
confused.
confused? Ma'am, what are you confused about? You know, it's basic communication, number one. But number two, just the way that she was like, well, all this stuff just happened and we just kind of drifted. It wasn't like these things just happened. Like you played an active part in this, you know? At every turn where you could have been forthcoming or you could have been a girl's girl, you chose to do the direct opposite. And now you're sitting in my face playing with me. And you could see Callum's just sitting there like, I ma'am.
She was still trying. She was like she was doing like the dope batting lashes and like trying to
Yeah,
look all coquettish, and he wasn't buying it. And
at
so she said
all.
she wanted to settle things after recoupling, and he said, "You know what? The recoupling happened. I was done." He's like, I want to give someone one chance, and she's like, "Well, I did not expect it," and
Man,
and he says,
this
like, I hope you
girl.
and Topi are great on the outside. I hope you guys do great. And he's, how dare her say, like, oh, you've said that already 4 times. And it's like, well, I have nothing
Mm,
else to say to you.
there's nothing else to say, ma'am. There's nothing else to say because you're not going to take any responsibility. I'm not going to sit here and call you everything that everybody knows you to be. Because he's too much of a gentleman to do that. I respect that for him, but I kind of wish that he'd been like, I wish he pushed her a little bit more when she was like, "Well, this stuff just happened. Well, tell me how this just happened." Or, there's some things that I did and you did. Well, tell me what you did. Why don't you tell me what you think you did? Like push back a little bit for like hold her feet to the fire. But I mean, that's what I would have done.
When she just is saying things all the time, like, like that grand gesture that she did when he stood up there in front of everybody.
Like everybody
Like,
else does.
like who cares? Like,
A
who
man that you've known for like less time than a semester in high
achieved
school.
history with? Like,
Girl,
said that he wanted to couple up with you. That's such a big gesture.
right? Good for you, ma'am. Good for you.
Good for you. Do you have anything else to say about that conversation with
No, oh gosh, no,
this?
this woman.
Yeah, no. I mean, obviously, I enjoy talking about her
I love the
because,
drama.
yeah, it grates on my nerves, and I can't believe that she exists, and like it's so frustrating. But I have to say, it's bringing the drama.
And I do appreciate her for the drama. I do appreciate her for that because I hate to say it, low key, I would imagine her back is a little bit sore from carrying the season because if were it not for her, eh, and Messy Mitch when Messy Mitch tried to be messy.
I don't. I'd prefer George's
He's
antics than Mitch's.
yeah, yeah. But beyond that, it's like everybody else is, they're eating crackers in bed for me right now. And it's just not very entertaining.
Exactly. Josh and Sophie have a little chit chat, and she says your speech was nice. And Josh talks about the fact that they were tested, and now they're done
Mhm.
being tested, and he's happy, and she's happy, and they have a lot of little smoochies.
Coochie coochie.
I think he really likes kissing her. I think that
Yeah.
so. you haven't heard this saying, or maybe you have me say it before, but I had an acting coach like 15 years ago or so that used to say, if the kiss ain't great, legs don't separate. And so that's usually
I
for
love
men,
that.
will say. But I think that he might be kiss whipped
Yeah, I think so.
because
Absolutely.
he looks like
Because
he really likes
he's
doing
into it. He is into it. He is into her. He's just and it's such a difference when you see the two of them versus Georgia Harris and Anton. I
that.
don't know. It's just it doesn't have the same sort of I don't know. It
Oh,
doesn't have the same
George
sort of
Harris and
energy
Angel
when he's
don't like each other. These two, like, at least on
yeah.
the phone, like,
Yeah, right?
like Georgia does not want to have sexual relations with that
She does
man.
not want that man at all. She does not want him. She, like I said, she's looking over his shoulder, can't even make eye contact, looking at the calendar, looking at the stop clock in the background as the clock runs down like it's the fourth quarter. You know, like she's just like, I just got to make it through just a little bit longer. And then I never have to see this man again.
I mean, she might because they're in like the same world. But Miss Love here saying that Callum is just over it. He sees who she is, and he is no longer subscribing. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And she's like, I think
Absolutely.
she's like going to malfunction because she doesn't know like how to not have the man come back and want her again.
She really, really is giving that person who needs that main character attention. And it's like, that probably has
Aries.
worked at different points in your life, but you're not, she likes the attention. She likes the attention. She likes the attention of having both guys. She likes the ability of pushing somebody to the edge and then the fact that they're going to come back, come back, come back. And Colin's like, I'm not playing that game. I'm
Yeah.
an adult. What are you doing?
Well, they're just gonna have very different ways of dealing with things because she's an Aries, so Aries is like a useful fire sign. So it's like it's kind of like a child with fire, right? And she's like, it's all about me, and I'm gonna do what I want, and I'm gonna be
Yes.
forward, right? And he's a Taurus, which is like I'm just gonna chill.
Yeah,
Like
no.
I'm not really into that. I'm just like calm. I want to
Yes.
cuddle. I want to make out,
Yeah.
but I don't need action.
All this rah rah stuff, I don't need it. I don't need the extra stuff.
She's ruled by Mars, he's ruled by Venus, and so he's going to have a
Oh,
more softer approach to things than she does in that way.
huh.
So they end their conversation. I think they gave he gave an awkward
He
hug,
gave her like a
side
like
hug.
one of those. He was like, enjoy Toby, enjoy Toby. I was like, oh
I
God,
was like,
he's
oh,
so
was that a
done.
fifth time? Is she going to call you out on that being a fifth time? It's like, why are you
Oh,
counting? He has nothing to say to you, girl.
right? She's so bothered. She's so bothered.
Oh, sorry, we're talking about Josh and Sophie, but we're always going to go back to
Eh, yeah.
Joanna pulls Arabella to talk, and she basically says that Chris's speech has given her the ick because he's being
He
like a
has the ick.
showman or something, and his energy is grating on him. And Arabella, she's just like probably like, oh yes, I'm so mad at Chris. She's like, well, that's a big red flag. It's a big red flag. Like she does not want him with like a girl that's very beautiful as well, you know. So
Exactly.
now she's into Callum. And okay, but okay, what she was saying, I have to agree with um Joanna, where she says
Mhm.
like, he was sitting beside me and he was like patting my leg. Like
Yeah,
his
that would
leg is
I wouldn't
like
like that.
I would be annoyed by that for sure.
I'd be like, what are you
Like
doing?
I don't want to see my man walk past me and stick his
And
butt
start
out and start
twerking.
twerking. I don't.
I look, I could do that like every once in a while, but you have to be able to turn it off. And he doesn't turn it off. And at some point, it's like, okay, that's cute in the beginning, but sir, what are you doing?
Yeah, he did want. She did. He did want to.
Yeah,
She did want to
yeah,
see
she
Josh.
did.
Oh, I'm happy though that she messed that up because Josh has a bit of an ego, so he's probably going to go full
Hmm.
on with Sophie just to stick it
Hmm.
to Joanna.
Yeah, probably. I could see that. I could
Um,
totally see that happening.
yeah, but like I like funny, but I don't like goofy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same. And everything has its time and everything in moderation. Like, and I think that's what makes it more difficult. Like when he has these like flowery, oh my God, this woman and she's this and she's that and blah blah blah. it comes across as either sarcastic or disingenuous, or like it doesn't have the carry the maybe the same weight that if he had shown a different side of his personality, or at least like kind of sprinkled in some of that goofiness or funniness, but it's like he doesn't know how to regulate it.
Exactly. He just it
And it's
doesn't
a
he
turnoff.
doesn't have an off switch.
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
reading the room. Like, he doesn't allow vibes or moments to happen. He
Mm-mm.
overproduces everything, right? Like, even that moment with Molly,
Absolutely.
he's like, "Okay, we had to stare each other in his eyes for 2 minutes," and then he tries to kiss her or whatever. And, yeah, there is that whole, like, ask each other these 40 questions or whatever it is, and you'll fall in love. Like, there are
Hmm.
little things that you could be doing on dates or whatever, so I don't mind
Yeah.
him trying little things in these
Hmm.
moments, but I've not seen any organic moments come from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I think kind of brings me back to what we were talking about earlier with, his goofiness kind of covers up a certain level of sensitivity and
Absolutely.
maybe a certain level of insecurity.
Okay.
And I think that it's, when you have kind of come up and you've been insecure, now suddenly people look at you and you're like the hot guy, or like you've actually made it to Love Island.
Well,
Like
and he
I
was
would
on
imagine that.
Unforgettable, right? So that's also pretty big.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So there's a certain level of intimidation. I could imagine what it would be like to kind of come on and then you're comparing yourself to other men, other
I mean,
guys,
I actually aesthetically think he's one of the hottest that are there.
He's so handsome. If he just toned down the goofiness a little bit, he would be like,
He needs
oh
this
my
a bit of a
gosh.
personality shaping because he has
Yes.
all the ingredients to have a really great personality. He just needs to, like,
Read the
tone
room. You said
down
it
the goof
perfectly.
and turn up
Yeah.
the just stillness. Stillness.
Yeah.
That's
Just
what
to
I think
sit in the
Callum
moment,
has, stillness, which is it shows
which is
masculinity and power
mhm,
and, like, confidence. Like, his
absolutely.
frenetic kind of energy with his goofy antics and wild hair, like, is a caricature of, like, a person, and
Mhm.
if you just, like, toned it down a little bit, he doesn't have to change him, but he can just, like,
Just lean into who you are and just know that you can just be in the moment without having to be extra, or be on.
and also, like, I don't know if I'm just a vibe person, but, like, I can tell when it's time to be a little bit more extroverted or when it's time to be
Hmm.
a little bit more chill. Like, you don't need
Yeah.
to be on 10 full Chris
All
at
the
every
time.
single moment, right? Like, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
party, you want to be on, you like entertaining people, you like to being the funny guy, absolutely. But, like, when you're sitting talking with your girl, like, you don't have to be
Yeah.
overtly goofy.
Because that allows you to kind of have, okay, there's some aspects of yourself that people see over here when you're on and you're this and you're that. But when you're with somebody that really knows you, that you're really trying to get to know, you want to show them a different side, a softer side, a more vulnerable side, a little bit more like I'm trying to get to know you, as opposed to, okay, I'm wild and zany over here, and I'm wild and zany over there. It's like, no, okay, sir, please go have a seat.
Yeah, let's just
And you
chill
need to go
out
lay down somewhere. Go
much.
take a nap.
It's
Go take a nap.
like, let's turn you
Yeah.
off, please. And please don't twerk beside me. I don't find men
Please
twerking.
don't do that. Please. Oh God, no.
It's not my thing. Chris and Toby talk, and Chris is kind of noticing that Joanna's been pulling back a little bit. Um,
Yes.
but
Now he can read a room. Now he
right?
can read a room.
And he's still and quiet and, like, you know what I mean? But they do talk about how they're missing Kaz and that they were a triangle
Hmm.
and now they're just a
Yeah.
line. Um, and Toby, though, is saying to Chris that he had opened up in his speech. And so
Yeah.
Toby can see this growth in his speech. But I think Joanna already had the ick. And so anything that he says was going to, like, kind of turn her off.
Absolutely.
And the word
I
creeper
also think
isn't something any girl wants to hear.
no, definitely not. Especially not on national television and in front of like all your other girlfriends in the house who have these men that are saying all these like, really complimentary, like, thanks. Oh, Mike, I can he called me a critter. Oh, yay. Nobody wants to hear that. Oh, that's awesome. But one thing that Toby did note, and he said this a couple of times, he was like, oh, well, it's kind of weird, or it's kind of, people who know you, or this might come from a. So even with Toby, he could kind of read the difference in, like, okay, you have the speech, and because I know you, I know that you're coming from this perspective. But if somebody doesn't know you, like,
It's kind of
so even
offensive.
with
It's
him,
like,
he can kind of see,
yeah. Well, and also though, Toby's not great with his words, so like
That's the reason why the two of them get along so well. It's just, this makes
that's
so much sense.
yeah, right? Because it's like, oh, like Toby can't actually give you good advice because he
The
can't
blind leading the blind.
exactly. Jess and Callum talk, and he mentions that yes, you blossomed, and they're 4 years older, and he has a few gray hairs, and she thinks that he looks the same, just more tanned. So, I saw some pictures of him on Twitter, and he looks really good.
He's so good. He's so
Like he's not
Ooh.
necessarily my type, but out of all the
Hmm.
people in the villa, he's my type.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna sound crazy. I kind of like Chris.
Chris is
I
my
don't need him
second.
twerking on me.
No,
No.
just cut out the twerking, cut out
Yeah.
the just being
Rein
annoying. I don't
it
like
in a little
annoying.
bit.
I don't like annoying. Like,
Yeah.
if you're funny, I like funny. I don't like annoying.
I
Send me
like funny. I don't like goofy.
exactly.
You got to find a nice balance. You got to read a room.
But I do think he's good looking. But Joanna getting the ick is making me get more of the ick for him.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I will. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just so you know, Azza is Toby and Georgia's like super stans. So Azza says that you can't compare Chris and Toby because his speech was good for Georgia. His speech was good
That
for
is true. That is true. That is true. I will give him that. But I guess like I just more so mean in terms of I think that Toby can see a little bit of himself with Chris, and I think Chris sees a little bit of himself with Toby. I don't know. I just can see kind of like the similarities like in the two of them, and yeah.
I can see it too. Don't worry. Steve and Casey have a flirty conversation, and Casey asks, "Why'd you pick me?" And she's like, "Well, I was planning on picking you from the beginning when I came in here, and you're funny." And he says he's gravitating towards her, and it's like, okay, like
Okay.
this is the thing. Is like if my friend was to describe the type of guy that I would be in and what type of relationship we would have, she could.
Mhm.
She could describe a relationship. I can't describe what kind of relationship these any of these people would have.
There's nothing on paper. Like there's nothing.
Like
Air.
I don't know. Are you guys going to be like the couple that's going to go on vacations and go skydiving together and go Jeep safari or something? Or are you just going to go out for dinner? Or are you just going to go to the club? Like I don't know anything about these people
I
whatsoever.
literally I feel like with them, they would get out of the villa, and then they're good at people. They're good people to stand next to each other, take a picture, go sit down at a table. Both of them sit on their phones. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And then they get up and they leave, and then they stand next to each other again, and then they have sex. Like I feel like that's all it
I
is.
don't
I
even know
mean,
if
and
I could
that's
picture
fine.
sex. I don't even know.
I don't even want to picture that.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyway.
probably would happen. Joe and Arabella have a flirty conversation, and she was a little bit mad that he fooled her in his speech because she had no idea that he was speaking about her, and so she was definitely surprised when that happened. But of course she says, like, do you know how you can make it up to me? And she goes in for that kiss. Arabella, I don't mind that I used to be a kissing bandit. I get it. But like you're gonna have to just let a little bit more time go on, just a little bit, you know, because it seems like you cut the conversation, the getting to know you part, and you jump into
Yeah.
the connection with the kiss part,
The
and then
physicality.
yeah, and then you kind of miss the connecting, and I think
Yeah.
that may be why it kind of ended with
Things
Chris
fizzle.
because
Yes.
like you started with the connection, then it jumped into the physical, and like I just don't know if guys can like regulate that very well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because there's no space to desire, to want, to like have a slow burn, like a slow build up to it. If it's like anytime that you're trying to disclose or like try to get to know somebody on a deeper level, and they're like, no, 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 shh, shh, like let me just kiss you. It's like. Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
because at some point that will give me the ick.
yeah. Well, yeah. Like, you just want to make out with me? Like, no, I actually like
Yeah,
connecting and talking to people.
yeah,
Okay, this makes sense. So, as I was saying, Arabella logic is kiss and I claimed him in hopes that the girls will leave her alone. Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah,
And so she can also say like, "Oh my god, we kissed." Yeah.
yeah. We have so much history.
Deep history.
It's so deep.
He needs to be developing deeper connections with these people so that they don't just drop her like a hot potato.
Yeah, because if all you have to give is kissing or the surface stuff, like at some point, somebody who, if you really, really want to have a deeper relationship, you have to have those deeper conversations. It can't just always be surface. And I think that that's part of the reason why she's repeatedly run into these connections that fizzle, that don't go anywhere.
My best friend, a long time ago, she dated this guy, and when they weren't together, I don't know if it was before or after, I can't remember, but he said that he was having this like a drunken night with a girl, whatever, that we had all knew, and
Uh-huh.
we all found her pretty annoying. But like, end of the night, you sometimes you end up home with some people
Yeah.
that are part of the, but like you don't
Yeah.
really want to date. So he told us the story that he took her home and they whatever slept together, whatnot. And then like after she was just talking and talking and talking and
Oh,
he
God.
couldn't stand it. So he just had to sleep with her again. And like he didn't obviously say it in those terms, but like he's like, I had to fuck her to shut her up.
Yeah. Just please stop talking.
So like that's whenever I see like Arabella going in for like that early kiss, it's like she just wants them to shut up.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
I'm
the same,
hopeful
but
that that's what it is.
say it again.
I said I'm hoping that that's what it is.
I don't think so.
Oh
Well,
no.
I think that she's probably just insecure, so like she just wants to like feel like I think that she feels connected
Yeah.
through, and even though it doesn't really work necessarily that way with men, like men
Hmm.
don't necessarily get attached by sexual relations,
No.
and women
It's got to
do.
be, yeah, very much so. It's almost like it then something turns off. But anyhow, God.
Yes, we should do like I love talking about like how men do not care about sex in the same way that women do at all. At all.
Girl, hi, yes, sign me up for your panel. I'm there.
We should just talk about it. Oh my god, yeah. Uh, so yeah, they smoochy smooch. Then we also see Chris with Joanna, and he leans over, and so he's like not even being sexy about it. He's like doing like, and she's
Oh
like,
God.
she's
No. Chris.
like, I don't even know if he hid the look of disgust on her face or not. But he's like, and she's like, "No, I'm tired."
I know, she was like, I'm tired. Nobody's ever too tired to if you really like somebody, there's never been a point in my life where I've dated somebody and I was like, I'm too tired. I know I'm good. I don't want to
I
kiss.
Yeah, only when I was like had the ick and it was over.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair,
Oh.
um, yeah, like I love a good kiss. I would never turn down a kiss from someone I liked, like
You
ever
really don't like that man.
at all. Everybody's getting ready for bed. And we see Toby crying at Kaz's bed, being like, "You used to be Kaz. You used to be Kaz." It was very cute.
I love that. He's so cute. Toby has his moments. He's grown on me so much since the season.
Going up and down.
Yeah, it's
The
up and
grand
down.
gesture really irritated me, and like the
Yeah.
reporting of Georgia Steele's antics, but his relationship and friendship with Kaz and her support for her, 100%
Yeah.
stand.
Yeah.
How he was treating Georgia Steele in the beginning, it
Mm-mm.
annoyed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I go up and down with Toby. I think I like him like a little brother type thing.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, same, same. But
but
relationship wise, he still has a lot of growing up to do.
a lot. Oh yeah, you've seen his season, so you know that he's only been
Yeah.
in one relationship, and that was with Chloe from his season.
Yeah. And that was a mess.
Exactly, exactly. Chris does ask Joanna if she's all right, and she's like, "Oh, I just need sleep." Bad sign. Bad
I
sign.
don't like that man at all.
No, she's like, I just need to go to bed so that I can get out of this bed with this man. And
And get the heck away from you.
Arabella and Joe in the morning join everybody in the big room. Then we see Tom talking about Molly to all the guys, saying that he's so serious about Molly, and they're closed up now. And all I wrote down for Josh said unbelievable. Did he say? Do you remember what he said?
No, I think he was just like, okay, all right. I feel like
So
everybody was kind of like, "Hmm."
Sophie was making fun of Josh and like mocking him, saying like we're closed off. I don't know if he hates it or finds it endearing or not, because like part of flirting is little digs, right? And so
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not
You kind of
sure if
bounce
it's
off of each
say
other.
again.
You kind of bounce off of each other a little bit, you know? Like, you kind of,
I don't know if he's into this one. Like he wasn't there for that one, but she does mock him before, and like
mhm.
I don't know if he's mad at her for it yet or not. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, and Miss Love here saying that Toby seems great as a friend, just not as a romantic partner. He needs to grow some more. 100%.
Agreed. 100%.
I mean, he's 24. His first real relationship came out of Love Island, and he's been in the Love Island like bubble with all Love Island
Yes.
people. Like he doesn't know what it's actually like in the real dating world
hmm
at all. He has no clue. Joe's talking about he's been pleasantly surprised by Arabella. And I didn't see this kiss on the terrace. Arabella's talking to the girls about a kiss on the terrace with Joe. Oh, right. Sorry. We just talked about it when she says,
Yeah,
"You know,
yeah.
you can make it up to me." I just didn't really think of it as a kiss because it wasn't a real moment.
Because it just didn't feel like it felt like it was produced. It was like another kind of, okay, I guess.
Exactly. So I was like, I literally wrote down like which, and if we literally just talked
We
about it.
literally just talked about it. I mean, I feel like that's part of my issue with this season. Sorry. I promise not, this won't be a tangent, but that's part of my issue with the season is like so like a lot of stuff happens, but how much is really sticking? Like not a lot really sticks with me. Georgia Steele sticks because Georgia Steele is just yeah, there. Toby and his antics, that sticks. Kaz, because, hi, Kaz. But this season's kind of like, I feel like a lot of it could have been an email.
Yeah, a lengthy email, but an email.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You can probably read most of like the body of the email like on the text, and you're like, okay, that's good.
Yeah, right? Like, you don't even have to
Go
open
ahead.
up. You don't even have, yeah, you don't even have to actually open up your phone. It's just, you press the button and it's like, oh, okay, I got the gist of it. I'm going to go ahead and swipe.
Yeah, it's just the gist of this episode, this season. What am I talking? Kiss guilty.
Um,
I wrote 16 kiss guilty Casey. What? Or maybe I was writing something
wait,
else. I don't know. Something kiss guilty Casey.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Eve though
Whatever.
talks about Casey and she's really happy. She picked him because he thinks that he's mature, and so she's excited to be getting to know him. Toby and Georgia Steele talks about the fact that she's left the battlefield and they hopefully can just be together, and they're kissing and rubbing noses.
Ma'am,
I can't
this
deal
is not.
rubbing noses like Eskimo kisses. Like next she's gonna like get her lashes out and give him butterfly kisses on his cheek. Like
I low key. I almost wonder if she's delusional enough to think that this might actually go somewhere, or be something.
Toby and Georgia, no, they're not gonna be
Yeah, I think she might be delusional enough to think this.
I don't know.
Uh,
I
hmm.
don't know. Well, you haven't seen her on other
I,
stuff. She
yeah, I mean, yeah.
she's been on X on the Beach, Peak of Love, with another guy, Sam Bird, and then this other guy, another Callum, who's like a mixed black guy.
Well, she's got a type.
And well, but Sam Bird was like white.
Oh, okay, okay. The other Callum, but
Well, she doesn't have a type though. Like she does seem to like mixed black
yeah.
guys for sure. But she did get engaged to that Callum guy. But like the way that she acted with them is not how she's acting with Toby. I think like this is
Really?
new personality that she's been putting on in these last 2 seasons.
How was she with them versus with
Well,
Toby?
she wasn't as annoying. She wasn't as gaslighting. She wasn't as lying. Like
Hmm.
it was just different.
Now that's going to be yet another rabbit hole I've got to go down. Is like all of old Georgia Steele shows that she was on.
Do you think so? Asa thinks that Georgia and Toby are the most solid couple in the villa. I think Josh and Sophie are.
Yeah, me too. I think Josh and Sophie, hands down. It feels more organic. It doesn't feel quite as produced. It doesn't feel like
Of
like
course,
there's a lot of BS going on.
rubbing noses. Get out of here.
That's
Like
weird. I'm good.
he wants like that. Like yeah, followers.
She talks about like she dragged him from like the trenches of World War I. Like, ma'am, you guys were on a show. Like, you weren't even on the show for the whole time. And then you went back to York and he was in a ma'am. Did you give him a kidney? What's happening here?
There must be more going on.
I hope so.
Must
It's
be.
given Delulu.
So Joanna's talking to Arabella and Georgia Harrison about getting annoyed by Chris and that she wants to get to know Callum. And she wonders if they think that Georgia and Molly will be upset because she wants to speak to
Molly
Callum
don't care.
privately. I I don't
I don't
think
think
anyone.
Molly cares.
I mean, just talk to Chris and be normal
Yeah,
and just be like, it's not
yeah.
working right now, and I want to get to know the people.
Spoiler alert. Fast forward.
I mean, she does it a little bit like roundabout. She's not very straightforward. Anton and Joe chat, and oh God, Anton wants to do something nice for Georgia Harrison. So he enlists Joe, the sandwich maker, to help him
Oh
make a
god.
on the terrace. So it's Operation Pick to the Nick. While Joe is distracting Georgia, Callum does help him lay out the meats for the like a sort of a charcuterie board. I know it's late.
Listen.
She's in West Coast, so it's not too late for her, but it's late for me.
I'm so sorry. I'm a flight attendant also, and my like all my trips were delayed. My flights were delayed, so I just got to Vegas, and I'm here with you guys instead of out on the Vegas trip.
Oh,
So
is your crew on the strip?
yeah, like they've been
Okay, you
calling and
can still go
texting.
out.
They're all downstairs as we speak.
Okay, we'll be done. Like it's what? It's 11. No, that's totally
Sorry,
fine.
guys.
We're coming. You're coming. We have like 1 page of notes left. 1.5.
I literally put my sweatshirt on top of and I'm sorry for the logo, but I put my sweatshirt on over my uniform because I was like that close to time.
All good. All good. She's just recognizing that it's late. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up quickly. Operation Pick to the Knicks. Anton goes and pulls Georgia Harrison, and she's like, "Oh, that's
One thing, real quick. So he put together a whole charcuterie board, right? Didn't she say earlier she's vegetarian
or vegan, probably."
or vegan? One of the two. I know it's like something that starts with a V and it equals not eating meat.
Yeah, well, because when she sits down, she's like, "Oh, she's like, cheers to her first date because he opened some champagne of some sort,
Mhm.
and she's like, "Oh, is this meat for you?" And he's like, "Oh," she's like, "Good, I don't eat meat," and he's like, "All right." And so, like, for someone that's always trying to do everything perfectly, we call him like the Mister Pick Me. Um,
Yeah.
like that's actually something really important for you to take
Huge.
notice of somebody. Like if he was so particular about the fact that like, oh, I know that she doesn't eat meat, so I'm gonna make her make her a little this and a little that of like all of our favorite things that are not meat related, that would cause
Exactly.
as a better grand gesture here.
But now and that further explains why she's white knuckling it with this guy who you've been together for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, also here saying after being up her arse every day and don't know nothing about her. sad.
I
But
know.
that means that's what I'm saying. They don't talk to each other.
Exactly. They're not talking. It's bikinis, drinks, and these vapid conversations.
Yeah. Yeah, we're open, we're closed, we're open, we're closed. I like getting to know you. That's it. That's what I talk about. Joanna pulls Callum for her clandestine chat and tells her about her feelings about Chris and that she's interested in getting to know him. And he is also interested. I mean, I do feel aesthetically they look good together.
Mhm. And they probably are a little bit more on the same page by comparison to definitely Georgia Steele and definitely towards Chris.
Oh, I didn't. You didn't see season 5. So Chris is from season 5,
Mhm.
and he dated outside of the show Maura. So remember Maura? She did
Oh yeah, I remember her.
games, and she also dated that guy Curtis, who was also from season 5.
Yeah.
And so he dated her outside of the show for probably like at least 6 months. I think they dated for a while.
Okay.
Just
That
saying,
makes sense.
get some tea, just some tea.
Okay.
Chris is really upset because he does notice that Joanna and Callum might have gone off, and he feels as though
Well,
you don't think.
the great mouse detective, one Georgia Steele, with her
Oh, she
magnifying
was there.
glass.
Yeah, she was. What did she
Anyway, I'm
say?
sorry.
Tell
Go ahead.
me. She said something though. She said,
She was like, well, I feel like I owe it to him. I feel like I owe it to Chris to go talk. Girl, isn't this your friend? That's what I mean when I talk about like being a girl's girl.
but her
She's
and
the
Joanna
worst.
are seemingly pretty tight though, right?
They weren't tight that day.
Well, Chris is too soft for this sheet, and Toby was trying to like hype him up, but I didn't write down what he said. But
Mm,
Chris, read
mm,
the room here. He's just not that into you.
yeah.
Ooh, wait, hold on. Ms. Love says Georgia. Wait, sorry. Oh, Georgia was being messy. Calvin and Molly are living in her head rent free. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
So Mary's saying that Mitch is doing interviews. He sounds bitter against Anton and learned nothing. Who is
Hmm.
gassing this guy out? Show yourself. Oh, like I don't like. Yeah, definitely show
Yeah.
yourself. But who's? I haven't seen any of his interviews. I don't know if I will though. He's so annoying.
Yeah. Not terribly invested.
Georgia was right. Joanna was faking with Chris. Are you talking about Georgia S? I don't remember.
You know what? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I'm assuming the way that a lot of these guests or these I don't house guests or I don't know what the heck they're called.
Islanders?
Contestants? Islanders. There we go. Me and Big Brother. I'm over here. The traitor. Yeah. Anyway. Um it's easy, like the way that they talk about it, it's like they've spent years together. Like they raised the whole family and then they got divorced and then they came back together. Like, I mean, they're talking about it like they've been like high school sweethearts and went through all 4 years of high school, you know? So it's easy for a lot of us to kind of, and I know I'm guilty of it, of thinking like, yeah, like that's so messed up. Hasn't she been linked up with this guy from like, it's not even, it hasn't it not even been like a business week? It hasn't even been like a full 7 days. Like, okay, she ain't interested. He twerked on her. He's too goofy. She ain't interested. I'm gonna go hang out with this guy over here. They're treating it like Callum's breaking up a happy home, you know, like they've been together for 20 like she was his lover and her secretary, working every day of the week. Like, no, that's not what's happening here.
Anton does get a text though, and there's going to be
Hmm.
a VIP performance from an international superstar.
Look,
Ooh.
I,
Uh,
it, I if my man does not get as excited about me as Anton got excited to see Craig David,
you don't know Craig David?
I do. I remember him. He popped up in what, 96, 97? Didn't he
Truly.
have that one song and then that other song at another
Monday,
point?
down on Tuesday, we can make love by
Oh my God,
Wednesday, and
I had that.
on
I had
Thursday
that
and
in my car. I had that in my 96 Camry.
Sunday.
Bump that.
There's another song that he has too. I can't remember, but I don't remember that one.
Well, you got this new one with Wes. So.
Got this new one with Wes. Everybody does jump in the pool because they're so excited about this performance. Everybody's getting ready. Joanna mentions that she's going to speak to Chris. And then Craig David is in the villa. Yeah, like I don't know why Anton was so excited. I mean, maybe because on his
He
season.
was he asked, okay, look, if Georgia didn't have the ick before, the fact that he asked her for some bronzer, like bronzer for what, sir? What is happening
You
here?
know, I don't know if that they've ever mentioned it on the show, but his mom still shaves his butt.
All right, you know,
That was like the
I
funny thing
suppose
about his season, and apparently she still does that.
it's making so much more sense why Georgia is like, what, just counting down the seconds.
Just like, oh my god, oh my god. Well, okay, count down the seconds. Okay, like, oh my god, the poor girl. Okay, so Craig David is doing his thing, and then Wes comes out. I thought Wes looked good. Like he had a little bit of a glow up
He is
since
handsome.
then. Him and Arabella were on season 5, like I said. They had a
We
thing
have a
at some point.
history.
They had history, deep history.
I'm sorry.
Because I love when Georgia said that she refuses to talk to her man about makeup.
I mean, yeah.
That lands. And then I say, oh, Jesus. So after Craig David and Wes leave, they do their thing. And Anton grabs the mic. And I swear, Georgia Harrison's soul left her body.
She was like, oh God,
I can't be
no.
here for this. I cannot be here for this. Take me out right now.
The terror in her eyes.
And everybody else knows. Like, they're just like they're just so scared for her. I think they secretly feel so bad that she has to endure this man torturing her by giving her a speech saying, first of all, like, I love you guys and we're going to share this whole moment together. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so cringe. And I want to be 100% exclusive with Georgia Harrison. And like, she comes up and like gives him a kiss.
I do.
I
I
do.
do.
Oh Lord, I was so mortified for her. She's like, oh,
Yeah. It's
God.
like, to me, it kind of reminded me of like one of those public proposals gone wrong. But you know that the girl, like, she's gonna wait until she gets outside of the restaurant and then be like, hey, so about that ring, slide it all back across the table.
Oh dear.
Oh God, awkward.
Ozzy says y'all felt bad for Anton while he's trapping. He knows she's faking it. I know. I
I
mean,
know.
he's just seeing how
But you
far
know what? I hope so. I hope so.
he's just entrapping this poor woman. Arabella is still shocked by Wes. She's talking about that with Georgia Harrison and Joanna. And then Georgia Harrison's like, I've never had a boy do that for me before, like pretending like she liked it. She's like, I hate it. She hates it. She hates it. And they do ask Joanna what she's going to say to Chris. So before that conversation happens, Toby and Chris are talking, and Toby asks him what's going on, and Chris doesn't really know. He hasn't spoken to Joe yet. Then Joe does call Chris over, and she apologizes for being a little bit distant, and she mentions that she pulled Callum for a chat and how she feels that they need to maybe take a step back. And he says we were good, and then like after my speech, like things were different.
Yeah.
And she's probably just like her life flashed before her eyes there too. She's like, oh my God, I think that speech was the
I mean, that was
ultimate.
the turning point.
Yeah, it was a nail in the coffin for him. And he says maybe we're just not right for each other, and he wishes her well, and she's gonna go and
Yeah.
crack on with Callum.
Tell him.
I think that Callum has more of the swag that she's going to appreciate.
Absolutely.
Him and Molly had like a lot of like not People magazine, but like that type of spread in the UK where like couple from Love
Yeah.
Island and like
And they're
laughing with
cutesy.
like, in the bed and like, you know what I mean? Like having
Yeah, you could see all of their teeth. They were like, ah.
Exactly.
and I feel like she needs that because right now, like, Chris is giving and she's giving, and that's not compatible. That's not,
Not at all. Ms. Love says Georgia Harrison's really putting on the best performance of her life, acting like she's into Anton. She should help Georgia Steele with the bad melodrama she's trying to perform. I know
Yeah.
Georgia Steele is just so melodramatic.
Yeah.
Deep
She's
history.
definitely giving. I don't know if anybody saw Passions back in the day, that one
Yeah,
soap opera.
of course.
She's definitely giving like Teresa Lopez Fitzgergerald right
I don't
now, and it
remember
is not
her
going very well.
exactly, but I'm going to look it up now.
I'm
I did
telling
get
you.
Passion because I remember when it first started because I was watching Days of Our Lives at that time. And then I remember Passions came on.
They had the little boy that was a boy, but he was also a doll, but he was also a witch. Got a podcast coming about that in like no time. It
I
was
mean,
like a
should we
fever
do a
dream.
rewatch of Passions?
Girl, let me tell you, there's somebody who has all the episodes.
Really? You
I've,
do?
yeah, I don't, but
Oh,
yeah, I'm
I
starting
mean,
up
I
a,
could
yeah,
find anything, but mm,
I'm telling you,
mm.
YouTube.
Mary said at this
Anyhow,
point, Georgia and Anton want to win. I'm not mad because there's no real couples or connections except for Molly and Callum.
yeah.
Mm.
And that's the thing. That's the thing about this season of Love Island. I feel like I mean it's not like it's yeah, I get it's All Stars. I feel like it should be called All Stars like second chances. I feel like that would have made more sense because who are the star like none of these I
Or this
feel like it's
is
like
X on the
Tiffany.
beach, like Love Island X on the beach,
Yeah.
or Love Island
Yeah.
Second Chances. But no, there's no All Stars here.
Because the best way that I could articulate it is like Tiffany Pollard when she was on Big Brother Celebrity Big Brother UK, and she was like, she has nothing in talking about Gemma Collins. It's like you are not a celebrity. Nothing of the sort. These are no all stars. This is definitely not the vernacular to use for this group of people. I'm sorry, none of them are giving star. They're
Yeah,
giving second chance, and
yes,
that's sweet. But
like the twins are All Stars. God, come on, come on, come on, come
I mean, besides the fact, like we were saying earlier, like you were saying earlier, besides the fact that they're twins, there's nothing else to them. Callum and Molly, yeah, I can see them. Georgia Steele, because she's Georgia Steele at this point. Toby, I guess, but like there's people who have like these little finite moments,
the real
but like
All
with some of the
Stars.
others are fillers.
Tech wasn't big enough, or they're busy doing things.
I think that they because I saw somewhere where Samira she was asked to be on it and then she
Yes.
backed out at the last minute. I would imagine they probably asked a lot of the single islanders that are still, I mean, have a certain amount of followers or what have you.
They all have a million, so
But
it's like,
yes, but I think for some of them, I think some of them have just matured and kind of grown past it. With some of them, I think that their status has grown so big. So why do I need
that's what I'm saying.
to
Like
go
the
back?
real All Stars are too big for the show.
Yeah. And then with some of them, it's like I've spent enough time in therapy. I don't want to go back here. I'm good. I'm gonna sit this out.
Ms. Leffy thinks that a Love Island season of Casa people who never got a chance to go in the villa might be that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think that that'd be cool. I think that if they went through, found the people that were supposed to be like the Casa More people or something, and casted them, I'd like all from all the different seasons, the ones who weren't picked. That would be interesting, or some of the ones that were picked also, and like do a mix of UK and US. That would be so cool. That'd be like way more interesting because it would give us an opportunity to get to know new people, but people who have either been around each other and or have had that experience being in the villa.
But they didn't
It would
get
be
to
like way
experience.
more exciting.
The only thing is though they don't have that many people because I think they started Casa more in what season 4, I think. So what they would
And
have like
we're what,
I guess
season
they'd have
10?
like actually have a decent pool of people. If there's about five
Yeah.
people, 5 or 6.
And then maybe on that side, like I mean, I swear we're giving production ideas right now. And then on that side, we could have like, okay, if it's going to be all Casa More people, then maybe some of those the original Islanders, like maybe we cast them in, and maybe they like it's like a role reverse or something. I
Oh,
don't know.
like
I like that.
they become the cast of more people, and like
The
the cast
picker
of
becomes
more
a
the original.
picky. Or the picky becomes a picker. Whatever. Anyway, in any event, yeah. Like flip the
I mean,
script.
I don't mind. I definitely don't mind giving a second chance to the Casa More people that didn't get to go in the beginning,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's a thought. That's a thought. Well, do you have anything else to say about this episode?
No, I mean it was I enjoyed Georgia Steele and Callum's conversation. That was interesting. I enjoyed seeing him just stone faced, just looking at her like, so can I leave? Are we done? You enjoy your relationship, friend. You know, like go on about your way. I enjoyed that. I feel bad for Chris because I think that he really did like, and I think he really had was trying to break out of his bubble and out of his shell, but. Yeah, that's for the rest of them. And I feel so bad. Like low key, I want to say to like Georgia Harrison, like blink twice. Do you need us? Do you need us to send in a hostage interpreter? Like, are you going to be okay?
she's,
No, knock, knock, knock.
she's
Help me.
she's like not in her. She's not in her body right now. She's doing what she can to cope. Like,
I'm
I know we're
telling you.
joking, but like I'm half not joking. Just saying.
Uh,
Well, it was great to have you to chat about these two episodes. Thank you for
Thank
putting
you.
it all together in your hotel room.
I literally was over here MacGyver style, like putting this whole thing, setting this whole thing up, and I'm like racing against time, like throwing on clothes. But thank you so much for having me. I love talking Love Island, and yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yay! So, if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna be coming back together again tomorrow at around
Yes,
5:30 Eastern, which is 2:30 Pacific time. So we will be doing tomorrow's
yes,
episode at around then, and so it'll be a little bit snappier, but you'll be able to see us together again tomorrow. Do you have any socials
absolutely.
or any events that you want to share with the peoples?
No, I'll just be hanging out here.
All right, perfect.
I'm I'm boring, but I think at some point I am going to start putting together that Passions podcast.
Oh my god, yeah, you do it.
I think I
Just
am.
host it. Start with that.
Yes.
I
Okay,
support it.
cool.
I support it. I'll do a rewatch to get back on track.
I would love that because man, when I tell you, like when the little wooden boy came to life and he was like a regular character on that
Timmy?
show.
Yeah, it was Timmy.
Yes, little Timmy and Tabitha the witch.
Let's
That's
do
all I
it.
need to know.
I'm
I
in.
was there at 3 o'clock. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Everybody, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and let us know, who do you think is winning the season at this point? Do you think that we're going to have any more bombshells come in? What are your thoughts and your predictions for the rest of everything? And yeah, let us know in the comments. We'll see you